Okay, so I have my first row set, as you can see. I want to point out a couple of little things on here. You'll see that this particular leaf does not have a whole lot of ink on it. You know, that's fine. If I was really, really bothered about that, I would go back with a stenciling brush, one of those stiff bristle stipply ones, and I'd touch a little of the ink on it and I would just kind of pounce that in to fill it in. I'm not going to worry too much about it because 9 times out of 10 you can tell that someone has gone back and stenciled over it. It doesn't really look all that nice. So just roll with it, let it happen. It's going to be okay. Two things I want to point out. Number one, I chose to assemble my garment and lay it out flat to do my design, to do my block printing on here, because I do not want to have to go through and cut away prints that I'm not going to be using. A lot of times people will go ahead and lay out the full fabric and print their design and then cut their garment out. Why cut off ink and stuff? I mean, it's not cheap. It's $10 a tube where I get mine, and I don't want to have to cut off stuff I spent money on. So my whole thing is print the fabric you're going to use, not the fabric you're going to toss. Okay, another thing that I want to point out is when laying this next row, it's very close to my side seam on here. And this is a really good shot where you can see it's just right next to it. Now, if you need to print over your seam, go for it. Be prepared for the seam to show. Be prepared for your stitches to show. That's when that short bristle stiff brush comes in, because then you can go back behind it and just kind of rock it out, just kind of roll it out a little bit to brush out the stitch marks on there. Don't stress too much over it. As you get more practice with this, you're going to be able to visually go, oh, I see where this is. I don't want to have to do my stitches over it. So my stamp is inked. It's ready to apply. Now you're gonna see, okay, Bridget, you haven't put any lines down. How do you know where to place it? I do the visual thing. That's just how my mind works. Now, if it's something that absolutely positively must be geometric, then I use blue painter's tape. And I'll mark out a grid system, and I will stamp within the blocks in that grid system. It works really, really good. Doesn't harm your fabric. It doesn't leave a residue behind when you pull it off. So just something to think about. If you need to have those guidelines in there, there's an option for you, okay? So let's go ahead and place this next stamp. Okay, so I'm going to find the top of my tulip. Okay, I'm going to carefully place my finger on the fabric so I don't actually touch anything wet. Line my tulip up with the last tulip. Okay, that's going to be close. I should have probably moved it over a little bit, but that's going to be okay. A little pressure, back and away. How about that? You can tell that I moved it a little bit closer to the seam. It's okay. It's fine. There's no need to stress the small stuff. The next one's going to go right below. So you can see how it has like a little stair step kind of action that's going to happen with this. If you take a look at some of the extant garments from the Topkapi Palace, you'll find them on the internet. If you have a book, yay. A lot of times you'll find where they had the stair-stepped pieces, or where you found when they were blended together. You have that option. You can carve your block pieces to form any sort of design that you want to do. Now, the next one that I'm going to carve is going to be more like a lattice work, I guess you could say, where you can see the design sweep out and then sweep back in and join up. The top of the design and the bottom of that design are going to be open-ended, so that when I place my block and peel it away, re-ink, and then place the block just above to where the open ends join, so it looks like a continual sweeping open and close motion. If you're not really sure what I'm talking about, ping me on here and I'll let you know, or at least I'll send you a link on what it looks like. Then you can go back and put another block design inside that open area. It's going to look fantastic. Don't be afraid. This isn't rocket science. If it messes up, oh well, you meant for that to happen, and you just rock that look, okay? Thanks.